Francis Chan once asked a very interesting question about church. What if the church started today with the entire Bible, but without 2,000 years of history, institutional and process inertia, and all the baggage? That's a really thought provoking question. And that question and a few others are what I want to talk about today on today's video and maybe explain a little bit why I think Francis Chan was right in his critique of the church and his attempt to do something better. Before we get started, though, my name is Ben Reese, and this is Yea Hath God Said, where we help you travel through doubt to arrive at faith. Before we get started, if you like the video and want to see more, please express that like by clicking the like button. If you want to get more of this content, click the subscribe button. And if you actually want to know when the content is posted, click the notification button. All right, let's jump right in. So Francis Chan had this amazing question. I'll repeat it again. What if the church started today with the entire Bible, but without 2,000 years of historical processes and institutions and all that stuff, and we just had it today? That's the leading question in my document that I recorded describing something that I'm going to now introduce called atomic communities. But let's look at this for a second. So there's a couple questions here. If the church started today, what would that mean? I mean, it's like would we own buildings? Would we pay pastors? Would we pave parking lots? Just what would we do? Would we support missionaries the way that we do it? Would we even be sending a lot of missionaries overseas? It just I don't know. But it's something to think about. It's something to consider and maybe, spur a little bit of doubt into are we doing church the way we should be doing it? Anyway, okay. Question number 2. Does the modern Western church, that's just the only one I'm exposed to, produce people that are transformed into miniature versions of Jesus? Now, this one should not be controversial, right? Like if you have been a Christian for years or decades, you should look more like Jesus further in your maturity than when you started. I mean, right? But is that what the church is producing? Is that what we see as people spend more time as they age through the church? Are they maturing more than just physically and with some extra gray hairs? Are they able to do more? Are they able to have a stronger faith as they walk through trial? And I think this is true. I mean, I'm not going to disparage it and say this doesn't happen, but does it happen to the degree that we would hope and expect? Anyway, let's do another one. How many Christians who have been a believer for years would feel confident in leading a Bible study? Let's just say this isn't like we're going to go through the book of Hebrews or Revelation and teach it. I mean, just sitting down with maybe a group of middle school students and going through just some passages of the Bible. How many would feel comfortable doing that? Would you feel comfortable doing that? If you would, leave a comment down below. If not, please comment and say why. Why wouldn't you feel comfortable doing this? Because shouldn't we have such familiarity with something that should be central and foundational to our life that we can talk about it, that we can go through it, that we can show things that we've learned to others as we walk through it? Something to think about. All right, question number 4. How many Christians, again, in the Western American, specifically American church concept, would be able to sit with a Mormon or an atheist or a Jehovah's Witness for an hour and not be the slightest bit disturbed or in doubt as they evangelize to you? I know I've done this, and I would recommend it for anybody. If you just really want to just get out there, when you hear the knock knock and you've got, 2 elders, or I don't remember the sisters, I don't remember the female equivalent, and you've got these, nice young men dressed in their white, their white shirt with their little name tag and their black tie, and they've got the bicycles, and they want to tell you about, the Church of Latter-day Saints, right? Invite them in, have a conversation, listen to them. Don't try to convince them anything. Just listen. And if they present things that you've never heard before and you're scratching your head, what the heck? I mean, yea hath God said, let that lead you into learning more. But how many people would actually feel comfortable doing that? Especially how many people would feel comfortable bringing these folks in, having some other people in your small group or your church there, and having a productive conversation? I mean, it's crazy, right? But shouldn't we be able to do that? Shouldn't we be able to interface with people intellectually that we don't agree with and be able to have a good conversation with them about it? Okay. Last question. Is a mature Christian someone who understands and obeys their Bible and can teach others, or a church attendee who's over the age of 40? I mean, you can get where I'm going with that. But think about that for a second. What is maturity? How do we define mature? Right? When we're looking at elders, elder candidates for our churches, are we thinking about people who can help manage the budget? And is that really all there is to it? Right? Or is there more? Is there a depth of relationship? And is it something where you have a whole host of mature people who are coming alongside the immature in your community in helping them? Or has it been more like my experience where it's a little bit more consumeristic, a little bit more, drive through Sundays? You get in, you get your worship, you get your teaching, you get out, right? You got to beat the rest of the crowd to brunch, right? Anyway, these are just some questions. And I think what Francis Chan was really getting to was, if we look at the Bible, we look at the New Testament, we look at the feelings and the emotions and the things being described there, why don't we see them today? Now, I'm not somebody who necessarily believes in signs and wonders, right? I think there's going to be a lot of lying signs and wonders in the future, and that's not something we should look at. Topic for a future video or look to. But why aren't we seeing dynamism? Why aren't we seeing just incredible things? And why is the expectation, well, we need some kind of revival to see any of that? Anyway, these are some thought-provoking questions. I hope they make you feel a little bit uncomfortable, right? I'm doing a little bit of throw the doubt in there, but to get you to think, can we do it better? Is there a better way? And to rethink, how are we doing the things that we've done? And how many of the things that we're doing are just traditions from 4, 5, 6, 800,000 years ago that aren't really based on what the Bible teaches? Anyway, we're going to get more into this through this series as it goes on, but please stick around. There will be tons more videos coming out on the subject. In fact, the document that I am giving this to you from, I will post in the descriptions. I'll find a way to do that. And please engage. If you have thoughts or feedback, if you have questions, if you have ideas on what can be done, please leave a comment. And no matter what, I hope you have a great day. Hope to see you around again on EA Hath God Said.